everyone. This is the Easy Allies podcast. I'm your moderator, Kyle Bossman, and joining us this week's Bradley Ellis.
Champa.
Michael Damiani.
Champa, okay.
And Brandon Jones.
I'll take it.
Yes.
Champa
Champa
is.
is, of course, a Dragon Ball Super character.
Ah.
Beerus' twin brother.
The god of death of Universe 8.
Wow. Universe 8.
Poor Universe
Was
8.
it 8 or 6?
Maybe 6.
Whatever. Doesn't
Okay.
matter.
Dude, I think you're right. It's 6.
Okay.
Yep.
We
It's
got it.
Universe 6.
So you gotta specify. So each of the universe has their god of death?
Yeah.
Okay.
God of
universes.
destruction.
God of destruction.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good to know.
Good to know. Get into it. Damiani
Get
Jones.
in, dude.
get
It's
into
so.
Welcome to our Dragon Ball podcast.
Dive
Dragon
in.
Ball.
It's so fun.
Today we got to talk about Goku. Okay, so let's start off with goals. Brad, what's your goal this week?
My goal is to yawn less than 3 times.
Okay, fewer than.
Fewer than.
Okay, Michael Damiani, what is your goal this week?
My goal is to
man.
drop a McJolly
Okay,
without anyone laughing at it.
Oh.
right. Damiani is. It's so weird. He's got a catchphrase that he was trying to spread, but also
It's not a
doesn't.
catchphrase.
It's a catch. McJolly's a catchphrase.
No. It goes beyond that.
That makes it even more of a catchphrase. You denying
Beyond
it.
that.
So I had.
You know what?
What do you got,
Jones,
merchandise?
what's your goal? What's
To say once, and you can take that to the bank.
great? I have to be a fair host. Damiani, what's the rest? What's McJolly? What is it?
The actual RP is
Yes.
adding Mick in front of stuff is my way of saying something is like completely like trivial or
Like
or
a
dumb,
McMansion. Sure, I get
Yes.
that. Yeah. Okay.
but a little bit more snide, I would say.
My goal this week is
McSnide.
to make a ponderous observation. Begin corrections music, please. I got a lot this week. AIM stands for Advanced Idea Mechanics.
Nice.
Got it. Kiwami means extreme.
Cool.
Yeah. FIFA on Switch will not be using Frostbite. Messoff, the developer behind Nidhogg, also developed Fly Wrench.
Sorry, say that again?
Fly Wrench.
Okay.
Thanks for the second opportunity, Brad. I
Yeah, I was
appreciate
like,
I was just.
I thought it was some weird word, and
Yeah,
you just
yeah.
like gave up.
that. Total War Games always had hub worlds, you noobs. F1 2007. Here's a list of like games that I missed. We had our preview,
right.
our September and August preview. F1 2017 is August 25th. Absolver does release on August 29th on PC and PS4. However, Xbox One is at a later date. Senran Kagura Peach Beach Splash, September 12th.
How could we forget?
The Legend of Heroes Trails of Cold Steel 3 only comes out September 28th in Japan. People figured it out that I was just using Wikipedia. They they figured out what was happening there. If it comes out in Japan first, it's not going to show up on my list. Ray Liotta is 13 years older than Liev Schreiber, and also Ray Liotta is not in Yakuza. It is Michael Madsen.
Ah.
Those two guys are in the same cubbyhole in my mind. You know,
Okay.
Okay.
they exist
Yeah.
in that. Like they're the same actor
Sure.
of the same caliber. I would
Right,
say
sure.
same league, same tier. And correction music, please. Hoo-wee! We get to start this podcast with one of my favorite ways to start a podcast.
Game announcement!
A game announcement! Heck yeah! You know what?
What?
I'm not buying into it.
Okay.
I'm not playing into it. I'm going to start with the game announcement that I'm most excited about.
Okay.
UFO 50. That is it. You know, everybody's like, Valve, let's dig in. Let's get into it. Valve just made, you know what? We'll get to it. We'll get there. But I want to start this podcast off on a positive note.
Sure.
UFO 50 is pretty weird. This is a 50 game compilation featuring basically what this is. It's led by the person who made Spelunky. I think I got your name, Derek Yu. And so UFO 50 is a collaboration with person who made Downwell, person who made Time Barons, person who made Scorpalac, and person who made Madhouse. So indie developers.
Spelunky, right?
Yeah, he said Spunky first.
Oh, sorry.
That's the lead of the project.
Yeah, that's what I
that's
thought, yeah.
Derek Yu. Yep. And so what they're doing is they're making 50 NES-sized games all in one game. And I guess you really need to see the trailer. Jones, you're grinning right now.
It's a cool concept. I have a lot.
Yeah.
I have a lot of questions.
Okay, what are your questions?
Well, did they develop up to 50, or did they cut down to 50?
I think
Like,
there's
did they
5
have like
people.
44 good ideas, and then we're like, yeah, we need 6 more games?
Honestly, I think it's 5 people who said, let's just do 10 each. 10 each is good, right?
Sure,
you can each
sure.
do 10, and I think everybody said, okay, I could do 10. I could do 10.
Because 10 of those have to suck. I mean, they can't all be good.
No. When you do 50 games, they're not all winners. Yeah. I think in that trailer, you see, like, I'm not going to play that one.
But almost kind of the lousy games, I think, would be more fun. I don't know. It's just a very interesting idea. It's not something a lot of people are doing.
And what you see is and I think this is the idea, modern twists on NES caliber games. So we saw an NES tower defense game, which totally makes sense and is cool. And that's the moment Jones was hopping up and down because it looks cool. It looks
for NES level footage in 2017. Like, oh.
Yeah.
I mean, that space golf game looked pretty rad.
Yeah, at a space golf game. Yeah, games that didn't exist on NES but totally could.
Yeah.
I'm into the concept.
I'm slightly worried because I've played games like this before growing up. You know, they always had like collections of games.
Pack.
Yeah, you know, and they usually were not
Yep.
great. Like none of the games were good. These
Yes.
games looked better. Like the quality definitely looked better. I just wonder. I don't know if you'll play a game for like a minute, you'll never play it again.
Brad, if I'm playing this for 50 minutes, I'm happy.
I guess that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess.
It's cool to see the creator of Spelunky. This is his next
Yeah,
project.
it is cool to see this like throwback kind of thing coming.
What's up, Jones?
Well, the other question I have is, was this the original idea, or was this a bunch of people that came together and collaborated and had just a lot of different ideas, and then someone all of a sudden was like, oh, light bulb, let's do all of them.
Yeah, Jones, I bet you're right. I think every creator has a bunch of back pocket ideas, and you can't always flesh them out into something huge. It's like, oh well, you know what? I'll make that into one of my
Yeah,
UFO
they just
50
have little
games.
prototype games or something.
Yeah,
that's cool. Yeah,
and that's what you see in there. You see like a strategy chess game. You see what else can we remember from that trailer that we saw in there? Shoot games.
Game.
There
was some like
shoot 'em
Ninja Star
ups.
game that was rad. There were like some
Yeah.
ninja chucking ninja stars. There were a lot of different levels.
a couple shoot 'em ups, so it's cool.
There was a volleyball game where you had a blade and you just slashed the ball.
Yeah,
That was cool.
There's like an RPG kind of game. He's talking around people. I think there was a dodgeball game in there too.
There was like
Yeah.
a weird grid game where you had a little soldier, and they were like different, moving them to different spaces to
a
make
game that
different
looked like
things happen.
GTA.
And, yeah, oh yeah, well, it looked like
Oh,
River City
right.
Ransom. Not River City Ransom, but Hello. What was the more modern one that we got a couple years back?
Ooh,
kinda like River City
he's
Rampage.
wearing a
City
black leather
Rampage?
jacket. Yes.
Yeah.
River City Rampage. It looks like
Retro
that.
City.
Retro City Rampage. Yep.
They got you.
They got me.
You know, Kyle,
Yes.
you sold me, man. I'm more into it now.
Yeah.
I think that's cool.
Yeah, I don't have a really talking points on this. I
Yeah.
just thought it was a cool game,
Yeah,
cool
cool.
announcement. Didn't want to ignore it. Yeah.
Cool.
I don't get the vibe from that trailer that they're like, all these games are real good. Like,
Yes.
it's not the point of it. You just
Right.
to enjoy different concepts,
fun for a bit.
talk to your friends about what you like. You know, it's like if you go to school or you check in with your friends and like, oh, I checked out that little game. I didn't play that. And they're like, oh, I beat that game. That game was sweet.
You're like, why?
And, oh, the last boss is amazing. And you're like, oh, well, maybe I'll put some more time into it when I get back home.
Yeah.
But like, which one's gonna trend out of that game? I wonder.
Space golf.
The weirdest one. Ooh, I think Space Golf's got an opportunity. You're right, Jones. That's the challenge. Like, which one gets the most tweets or something? Yeah, we'll see. Okay, let's talk about the thing that is getting the most tweets. The Valve announcement. Valve has announced a new game that they are developing.
Wait, say that one more time.
Valve has announced that they're developing a new game, Brad. Yeah, aren't you excited, dude?
Not
Valve.
really. When I found out what it was.
That game is called Artifact, the Dota card game. That's the name of it, Jones.
Yeah, I know.
Artifact : the Dota card game. The Dota card game might be a slogan, I don't know, but
Have you been
right there.
playing Artifact : the Dota card game?
yeah, dude, that's right. That's right.
Dude.
So what this is what we know so far is that it is based off Dota.
Okay. Big IP.
It has 3-lane gameplay, this card game.
Whoa.
Yeah. There are brackets that spawn creeps. Players can use 5 heroes at once and also get item cards for those heroes. And again, I'm just stealing that from Game Informer's write-up. That's what we know about this card game. That is Valve's next produced game.
I think the
That's
idea of
coming out in
having lanes is pretty interesting in that.
So you're looking at the positive here.
Yeah, like I was just like, is this Hearthstone or just like, is it like, I don't know if it's a digital game, I guess, or is it physical?
Oh, it's
Both?
a digital game.
Okay.
It is Hearthstone. Brad, it's Hearthstone.
Yeah, the idea of 3 lanes is cool, but I don't know. That's it, I guess.
Do we have a launch window for this?
2018.
Okay. Maybe we don't have like Q1 or in months or anything.
Nothing
Okay.
beyond that.
I mean, I don't like card games that much, so it's not for me. I just think that's a cool idea to capture that game.
Here's my thing, panel, is I don't believe this was Valve's next passion.
I agree with you.
I don't believe that Valve looked at, we can make any game in the world right now. We have so much money.
I don't think they've had that for anything.
Yeah, maybe not. Maybe I'm crazy and assumed that one day they really just dreamed of games that they could make and just made them. This doesn't feel like that. This doesn't feel like a dream game to them. This feels like, oh.
No, yeah.
Certainly from the trailer too. The
Yes.
trailer's very much like.
Is this an is this like an in-house game or is it another studio making it?
In-house, baby.
Whoa.
Jones, what was the trailer like?
There were rocks. They were different colors.
Yep.
The rocks became a logo, and then they showed the word artifact,
Yeah.
and then the trailer was over.
Damiani, is this the right choice?
No.
Let's not. No, I mean, let's not even talk about like what we want and things like that. Is this a good decision for Valve to make a card game right now,
Sure.
business-wise?
Yes, probably.
Damiani.
I mean, Brad was saying earlier before we started the podcast that he thought this was like too late.
It is
like,
too late.
Why
Like,
didn't
why
this
so
happen?
long?
If they really wanted to make any kind of meaningful impact, why didn't they do this a while ago?
I bet
why
it's
now?
been.
Why
I bet
now?
it's been in development.
now?
For
This is
ages.
exactly like when Blizzard came out with Heroes of the Storm. It's like, you're
Yeah.
late with this.
Yeah.
You're really late, and there's already established, like, groups of these kind of games.
But they're doing fine with it.
They're doing worse than everyone else, though.
Oh, okay.
At least, like, of the big three, I would
Yes.
say. I don't
Wait,
know
what
about
are the
like
big
Hero-
three? Hold on.
Well, like League of Legends,
Yeah.
Dota, and Heroes of the Storm. Like, Heroes of the Storm is doing worse than those two.
Is it doing better than Smite?
I don't know.
Okay.
That I don't know.
I think it might be doing worse than Smite. So yeah, I think it might be out of the big three. Jones, you said this is the right decision.
Yeah, I mean, I was gonna say, how hard is a card game to make? Like, card games are difficult, but not as difficult as like a a 3D shooter.
as
with
Half-Life 3.
multiple
Yeah,
levels
not
or
as
whatever,
Half-Life
you know,
3, yeah.
Especially if you don't have to create any characters. Like
Yeah.
like they're all there. The designs are all there. You can like base the moves and what the cards do, the abilities off of the characters already. It's just the question of like how creative you make them. But like all of the heroes that come from the Warcraft universe into Hearthstone, it's like, oh, I see what you did. He's undead, and okay, like
Yeah.
the cards come back and they're zombies. Yada
Yeah.
yada. But yeah, I don't know what the wait was. I don't know what were they desperate for cash, or they're just like,
There's
oh,
no
we'll
way.
finally do this. And especially with just how it was announced, that like I have to learn all of this from you and not from the trailer at all.
Yeah.
That it's like
There's a
it's a
logo.
year off and you have no gameplay. Really, now's not the time to show me what this
Anything?
game looks like.
No
or-
lore.
No concept. Nothing.
I guess you would show. I guess if you showed gameplay, you'd have to show off cards too, and I guess that's like the main thing. But
put
like,
a hero
you
in
want
there
to
that people knows
trickle
in
those
there.
out week by week by week. Here's a new card. Here's a new card.
I really think this has been in development for a while. I really think it's been in development for years, is my guess.
It's possible, yeah.
Because why would you today say we should make a card game? Because I think that's the thing. Is like, why would you today do that? I don't know.
Well, I think you need at least three things to make a successful card game.
Sure.
An established franchise I care about. So
Yes.
tied to something that like, it's gonna be very difficult to build like a card game library from the ground up. I haven't heard any of these things.
Jones, that's fair. When I think of other examples, that's fair.
It's
Yeah.
got to play different. So like when we say 3 lanes, like that was that move. It's got to be. It's got to be easy to get at. Like I don't want to go out of my way to like drop $60 on it, or it's got to be free to play with some paid stuff on top of that, or like have the way that Hearthstone does expansions where it's like you can buy into like some preloaded thing that gives you a bunch of packs that you can open. But if like this is hard, or I have to do some other service or something. But if I'm playing Dota and it just pops up, it's like it's free. Just click this and you download it right now. Like, oh, okay, fine.
Yeah.
Then like while I'm waiting for a Dota match, while I'm waiting for my friends to get online, fine. And especially if like play Artifact and you unlock this Dota character,
Oh,
or vice
guaranteed.
versa.
Yeah,
Oh,
for sure there'll be
yeah.
like synergy between the
Don't
two
even
games.
worry
Yeah.
about it. Yeah.
And those 3 things they got already lined up, ready to go. So
I want to know what Huber thinks about this.
yeah.
As a former beloved Valve fan, and just waiting for a
Former
game,
fan.
just waiting for the game. Like so many millions of people out there waiting for anything Half-Life, just
Yeah.
anything, a bone, nothing. You get a card game.
Huber is spurned, man.
And it's
He
just like,
no longer is a
dude.
Valve fan. Yeah. It's just weird. I think Valve wants to be Blizzard and Blizzard wants to be Valve. I think they're always looking on the other side of that fence.
Like, what are they doing?
Yeah. What are they doing? Oh, that's pretty cool. I want that. Yeah. It's just always.
We got TF2. Let's.
I want that. I want that. Hey, nice grill you got over there. I want to go like that. Yeah, it's that. Okay. You know what? I don't want to talk about that game for too long. Let us talk about. I think I have some good news this week. Believe it or not. Actually, this is juicy news. We're starting with juicy news. We'll
Ooh.
get to good news. This is juicy. Patrick Bach, who you may know as the former studio manager at DICE, would head the Battlefield games, is the head of a new studio that just opened in Sweden by Ubisoft.
Really
Yes.
cool.
So Patrick Bach just left November of 2016, not that long ago, and is now the lead of Ubisoft Stockholm. How crazy is that?
Gotta make it Assassin's Creed, baby.
Well, no, that's the thing is they're not making Assassin's Creed. Ubisoft is all about like we got to make more
Maybe
games.
like a
more
UBR
games.
game.
Yeah. Well, no. AAA. They said in the next 2 years they want to be up to 100 employees. Their first project is going to be helping with the Avatar game. With Massive Entertainment. That's another Ubisoft studio. There's also in Sweden. Let's stop there because Jones...
Jones.
He just lost all excitement.
Jones.
I lost you. What happened there, Jones?
Just anything Avatar just kind of makes me sad.
Isn't that crazy,
Not because
Jones?
I didn't like that movie. I like that movie.
Yes.
Like there are beats in that film that I really appreciate.
Mm-hmm.
In the story, obviously the effects are incredible. I think some of the just the way that world is built, I think is fascinating.
Yeah.
But Avatar is the whole idea for me of like kind of like when you give a pill to a cat and you got to like rub the cat's throat for it to swallow it. I feel like people are like rubbing my throat with Avatar. You know, it's like just swallow it. You know, Cameron's like, I'm making 5 of these. Just watch them. You know, you're you can't even sort out whether I want this or not, or whether like Castlevania comes out on Netflix and it's like, I hope this is good. I hope people like it so they can make more. It doesn't matter with Avatar. Like, you know, it could be like a 2 on Rotten Tomatoes, that second film, and you're still getting 4 more. So it's being excited about Avatar seems kind of pointless. It's like, why even bring it up? You know, because it's just coming.
It's not. I think they want it to be like a Star Wars Marvel level. Like Avatar, they want that IP to be big like that.
Yes,
the music
they
parts.
do. Oh,
it's
yeah,
not
they do.
there. There's
It's not
one
there.
movie.
Yeah.
And that's it.
It is insane to me how many resources Ubisoft is putting into this Avatar game, for sure. That's crazy, but yeah, it's a thing, and it's crazy that they bring in Patrick Bach, that he's left his cushy dice job to come here. I have a quote.
I'm sure he got a cushy Ubisoft
Yes,
job.
yeah.
That game reveal just can't excite anybody. There's no
can.
way.
Jones, it can. The Avatar reveal, it can. Here's the
potential.
thing.
At that,
my
E3 press con when they come out and they go to cut to the crowd, like no one's gonna be smiling.
Here's the thing, Jones.
Everyone's gonna be like, okay.
Can I pitch something to you?
Sure.
There's no Na'vi in it.
Okay.
And you don't know it's an Avatar game until the very end. I think you wait until the very end
of
of
the
trailer.
demo. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
when they're showing it off, so
Yeah,
it's military and then.
And it's like, whoa,
At the
that
end.
was the Avatar game? Yeah,
Yeah.
I want to blow their minds and then add Avatar at the end.
Okay.
Can we do that?
Yeah, maybe kind of make it like scary. You know, maybe kind of like
yeah,
you're getting through the forest and the arrows are coming out over
But you know
spears
it's
and
Destiny.
taking you out.
No. You know this game is
Just
Destiny.
make it turn-based RPG. That'll surprise me.
Ooh, yeah, absolutely.
But there were scary strikes and stuff like that in Destiny, so it could still be like
Scary strikes? What?
strikes that were like spookier than the other ones. You know, that had like.
Destiny had a spooky on-stage demo, actually. Remember they had just their flashlights and they were in those tubes?
And like
Tubes.
Republic Commando tried to make Star Wars scary, you know, so it's like you can.
Oh, okay.
I can see it. Jones, I think
do
you
it.
could totally pitch the game. I think you can get people excited about Avatar. It's hard to do it. I get you there. What's up now, Manny?
I mean, if it's based on the new stuff, the 4 sequels, or the heck they're doing, not one of there was more information that came out.
Is it 4? Hold on. Is it 4?
Apparently, it's 4 sequels.
No.
Yeah.
It's 4 sequels.
No.
4 sequels. All of them will be set in different places. So here's the thing: the characters will be mostly the same throughout all 4.
Okay.
So the heroes will be the same.
All right.
There'll be the same villain through all 4 of them.
Star Wars.
The muscular guy?
And someone else.
Oh, okay.
Star Wars.
I think.
Star Wars.
Oh, okay.
Different
Someone else will be their
locations,
villain.
same character.
Different locations, but like having the same cast so you can be familiar with the people. You have to spend all this time reintroducing everyone in each new film, but it's be drastically different locations. So everyone's like, yeah, they're thinking of Star Wars, Lord of the Rings, like, oh, here we go, like just gonna like move around. So you're envisioning like OG Avatar, like how can you make that exciting, which has been played out, the forests, arrows, the Na'vi.
Yes.
They can just do something completely unexpected location wise because might be a new location from the new movie. And you have no idea what you're seeing, and then at the end, like you see like a Na'vi, and you're like, wait, what? Why is a Na'vi here? Oh, Avatar's going where? Where's this like a crazy
On a
location?
volcano planet?
Yeah, fighting Anakin. What? No, I mean they put a lot of money into the original Avatar game. Like they thought that would be a big deal. I mean the movie was.
The game was not.
just unfortunately didn't ride on the coattails of that very well. So
Well, neither did Avatar backpacks. Neither did Avatar tattoos.
well, because that
Nobody.
movie really wasn't.
We all saw it, but nobody loved it. You know,
yeah,
that's like how I gotta feel about it.
What was the best description of that movie that I liked? It was a great like Disney ride, but like it's not memorable in terms of its narrative or its characters. It's just it's something you have to see, and people liked seeing it so much they would go back and see it again. It's like, why do you go back to Disneyland? You've already been on the ride. Oh, I like that experience. Like, you don't really need, like, you're not going back to rewatch it because of the story. You're just like, yay, this is the part where all the colorful things come out in the forest and stuff. This is where they like merge with the flying things and fly through the sky. You're the floating islands.
They're
like
touching ponytails, yay!
Yeah, like that type of stuff. Like that I think that's why a lot of people got in, like, just went back to see it so many times. So that mentality, I think, lends itself to a video game. Like, oh, you don't really need narrative, you don't need that stuff, like just action and cool sequences. They didn't really capitalize on that in the game. So
Sure.
Who knows?
Let's hope it's good.
I want to finish this conversation with a direct quote from Patrick Bach, who says, when talking to Ubisoft about values and goals, I noticed that we shared a lot of thinking, especially when it came to the creative and practical process of making games. I feel like I will be able to use my potential in a new and different way in the Ubisoft family. I'm also looking forward to working with new world-class colleagues around the world. So, I want to ask you, panel, does that, to you, feel directly targeted at EA?
I don't know.
That, to me, says more about what EA is not than what Ubisoft is.
The vibe I get is he just didn't want to do Battlefield games anymore.
Yeah.
He's like,
that's
I'm
probably
done.
true. Yeah.
You just want to do something different. Mm-hmm. Just change the scenery, which I get. That's fine.
Do you think Ubisoft's going to give him that?
Who knows? I don't know.
Is Ubisoft a better publisher to work for than EA?
I don't know.
As a top-tier AAA developer.
I would rather work for Ubisoft. I enjoy
Tell me why,
Ubisoft.
Jones.
I
Tell me
just
why.
enjoy Ubisoft games more than I enjoy EA games.
What does that mean?
I for all the flaws that some Ubisoft games have, I definitely get, like, I think sometimes their creativity might be misguided, but I feel like there's a lot of creativity that went into this.
Sure.
There's a lot of work here, a lot of world building, a lot of thoughts on the lore, and it's just the execution that sometimes can falter, or frankly just the budget, because like that's why they took a year off from Assassin's Creed, that they just like gotta rush these things out. They have to have like the pressure of having that big new announcement at the end of and sometimes that's Watch Dogs and sometimes it's Steep, so it's like the Steep was still a super creative game, and unlike any snowboarding games I ever played, but just how it how I unlocked things in that game just didn't work out to my liking.
Sure.
But yeah, and I just end up liking more Ubisoft games, the style wise, I think.
The first game that popped in my head when I thought of EA for some reason was Fuse,
Wow.
and I was like, oh, woof.
Brad,
Maybe
why though?
Ubisoft.
Fuse was 5 years ago.
I don't know why. It just popped in my brain. There's no reason why. It just did.
Yeah, no, it's fair though. So Fuse was originally Strike Point was the name of that game.
Overstrike?
Overstrike. That game was originally very creative, and we saw EA turn it into something much less
lifeless
so.
machine.
Yes, and so Brad, I think it's a fair thing to say, and I think it's fair to like maybe say, well, why is he leaving EA? Probably they don't let him do whatever he wants to.
Yeah.
I mean, I think he's just gonna be on the Battlefront train if you're at that DICE studio currently for a while. He's probably like, he's probably made a ton of Battlefields already.
He has.
It's like, all right, time to move on. Which makes sense.
Cool.
EA also has very little heart.
Oh,
sorry.
God. Yarny.
Sorry.
Yarny.
Yarny's got heart. EA doesn't have heart. You know what I mean? It's like you don't get that sense.
You don't.
The execs come out on stage for EA and like the room doesn't brighten. Whereas like Yves Guillemot comes out and it's like, I love this
true.
guy. And like they let their developers come out and speak their heart on stage and talk
That's
about
true.
why they're creative.
That's
and like
a good point, Jonesy.
every now and then you get the Assassin's Creed movie, sit down on the couch. You get like moments like that. But like having Aisha host for so many years, like. And not just to focus on EA or on E3. Obviously, they have many other opportunities throughout the year to impress people. But I just get that vibe from Ubisoft.
What about I forget the name of it? Jailbreak.
Way Out.
Dude,
Way
yeah.
Out. Way Out's got heart.
It does, yeah. But I think it's more giving them the opportunity to do that. Than I don't think that idea came from EA.
Yeah.
That idea came from someone else, and EA was like, "Yeah, that."
Yeah,
it's like,
they saw a good
I think
idea and they
Ubisoft,
took
you
it.
see these
Yeah.
ideas like kind of come into creation from people that are ingrained into Ubisoft.
I mean, give EA credit though for funding that kind of stuff.
sure,
That's
that was
absolutely.
one of the best things to come out
Yeah.
of their conference this year.
You'll have to forgive me for a moment. I'm terribly afraid that fan is blowing straight into our microphone, so I'm going to
It's not.
adjust
I
that.
aimed it that way. It's going.
Okay.
I can feel the breeze. It's right there. It's cut off.
So it's avoiding these microphones by 3 inches.
Trust the system.
I'm going to trust you, Jones. It's not easy for me to do this.
What's the sports team that says that?
I'm going to trust you?
Trust the system. Isn't there a sports team that says that?
Yeah, it's probably the Patriots, dude.
No, it's not them.
It's probably the Patriots.
They don't have to, like,
Tom Brady slogan.
Psych themselves out. They're going to win anyways.
They trust their system.
Their system's Tom Brady.
I really don't know which team is trust the system.
I think it's a team, dude.
Bill Belichick.
Bill Belichick.
Bill Belichick. Let's talk about that good news. So,
give me that good news, dude.
we had bad news last year. It was kind of bad news. It was very controversial. The creator... Well, there was a game. There was a Metroid 2 remake called AM2R, another Metroid 2 remake. It came out basically a year ago. Almost a year ago.
Yeah.
It was released. It was a really cool little Metroid 2 remake, and then Nintendo said, cease this. Desist this. And
no.
It's gone. You can't download that right now.
For good, like, we know why they did it.
We know
obviously.
why they did that. Yes, we do. The good news is, 1 year later, the creator, Milton Gausty, said on Twitter, hey, I got hired to work as a level designer on Ori and the Will of the Wisps.
That's such a cool, like,
nice.
Isn't that cool?
That's such a cool position.
I love that.
That's a feel-good moment, dude.
That's a feel-good
That's
story.
awesome.
Yes. So I want to read you, in addition to this, it's like a heartwarming quote. Look out for heartworms. From the founder of Moon Studios, Thomas Mahler. This is actually from a NeoGAF post, but it was in the article, which I thought was great. Game Informer, thank you. Milton is an incredible talent. We interviewed him and gave him a little test. We require every new hire to do a little test to see if they're a match and to check how the person reacts to feedback, etc., etc. And he passed that little challenge with flying colors. I was grinning all throughout his pitched level design since it was clear from the first second that he gets it. Last year, we hired Chris, one of the level designers for the recent Rayman games, and a minute into the call, he PM'd me, hire him now. Cool.
That's awesome.
I'm so stoked on that. And I think it is worth noting that Moon Studios is a group of people all over the planet.
Yeah.
And that's why the calls are mentioned, and there's more to the quote that I won't read. But basically, the way that game is developed is through calls, is through daily and weekly check-ins, saying how you're doing, and then sending things and sharing. Even the music, just like, oh, yeah, that's really cool, and sending things like that. That's really cool. That's the coolest thing.
Yeah, that's so rad.
Best case
Good
scenario.
for that guy.
Yes.
That reminds me of the guy that originally designed Dota way back in the day, Warcraft 3 mod. His name was, I think, Ice Frog.
Yes.
He made Dota, then Valve hired him. Mm-hmm. Dota 2. Boom.
Yes.
Living the dream. Nice going, guys.
Most likely a millionaire today.
Just living it up.
Yep, just for one good
He made
mod, man.
this goofy mod for fun.
Yeah.
Millionaire.
Yes.
I mean,
earned it.
In the wake of this, would you tell aspiring people out there messing with licenses they don't have the rights to mess with to follow their dreams and keep going?
Yes, Jones, I would. Yes. I think you're going to get more attention, as we said, with your card game off of somebody else's license. If you are trying to make a game right now, you'll get more eyeballs on it making your own little Pokemon mod than, hey, I just want to make a game that's about monsters. Like, no, sorry. Well, it'll be harder. You absolutely can. A good game will rise to the top. Hopefully, that's the romantic way of looking at it. But the easiest path is to use someone else's franchise.
Yes.
Or I guess maybe, because I don't know if that's like the best advice to give somebody, but like one thing I think you should do is, if you are working on one of those projects and the developer's publisher does come crashing down on you, be careful what you say, because they might find themselves making some game 2 years down the road, and it's like, oh, who was that one guy who was working on a game that we said stop, and they were really courteous about it, and worked on other projects and are doing fun things still.
And I think that's a good point, Jonas, because when AM2R was shut down, it wasn't like, F Nintendo, I'm putting it up anyway, they can't do this to me. It was like, okay, I got it, okay. It was more like that. It was just fine. And yeah, I think that's a good point. It's kind of a resume, and it's
worked
kind of,
out good for him.
Yeah.
Start drawing your new Pokemon, Kyle.
What do you mean start, Jones? What do you mean start?
He's been drawing for
see
years.
that.
Years.
Let's see them.
I had some thick binders
I'm going to
show
say
you,
over
Jones.
a decade.
Over a decade. Wait till you see these
That's a bet in
binders.
the making.
Just show off my
the
binders?
reveal, yeah.
No, you wish. You can't see my binders. Damiani, how do you feel about this, actually? Are we giving bad advice to tell people, yeah, go for it, use other licenses if you're making a fan game?
I didn't say that.
Okay.
Okay, so Brad didn't say it.
Yeah.
I still think it's risky. I still think that the problem is always about timing. make sure you have your game done before you say anything about it. When you're doing a mod or a fan version of a licensed, or not licensed, but a known IP, because if you get shut down before it ever comes out, you've done all that work and you can't show it to anybody. Whereas if it gets released and even if it gets shut down, nothing ever is truly gone from the internet. You said obviously there's no main pages of download links to AM2R, but like you can still find it if you look hard enough. It's still out there. Yeah. You still play it. Sure. People will stream it and stuff, and people will see your work and be like, oh, like that's pretty good. And I think it's easier for people to see to notice that, as you said, because a lot more eyeballs on that. It's getting a lot more media attention, but it's also high risk because sometimes companies are nice about it. Sometimes companies can be like, not so nice about it. It's at their discretion.
What do you mean by that?
Like companies could go like more hard at you, like not just cease and desist. Like it's too late. You've released it. It's already done the damages. We're gonna take you to court. Like they could do that if they really want to. They just don't because they know it's bad for their image and stuff. So it's really, you're really playing with fire there. Like you're just counting on the good graces that companies are smart enough to be like, we got to protect your IP, so please cut it out. And if you do, we're cool. We won't go after any other copies linked anywhere. We're not gonna like destroy it from the existence. Like it's still out there. And as Jones said, like not throwing a hissy fit when they come after you when you know better. Like you were playing with fire. You got caught. Like just own up to it. Be like, hey, I respect their wishes and stuff. Taking it all down. I will say though, it's cool that somebody did hire him. But this, and you pointed out the Valve thing with Dota, it doesn't always go that way, especially when it comes to Nintendo. There's the infamous thing about that animator who made the hoax video for Nintendo On back in the day,
the VR headset
before the Wii came out.
I remember it
and Reggie made that quote about, man, we really should find that guy and possibly offer him a job. And the guy took it to heart. He's like, oh wow, like maybe I just gotta get in touch with them and stuff. And like he never was able to get in, like nothing came of that.
No. So Reggie had no intention.
Don't go into it expecting like, hey, if I make a masterful Metroid game that's better than anything Nintendo's ever made, and I did it myself, even if they shut me down, they're gonna see it, and like when they make that next 2D Metroid, they're gonna think of me. Like, especially Nintendo, they don't.
All right.
They don't think, like, don't expect to get anything out of it other than maybe something like this. This is something I feel is reasonable. That people would be interested in because Ori is a good game, but it's a smaller profile release.
And like we said, like it's a studio in which your location doesn't matter. Because of what Moon Studios is, like it doesn't matter where you are on the planet. Like it is a special case.
You got to know your company. Sure. Like Japanese companies, you're not getting hired. You're not getting hired for making a version of their IP. Right. Like, but if it's a more Western developer, especially one that has ties to PCs and modding, you're probably more likely to impress them and get in on them.
How about this though? So at Evo, I didn't bring this in because I wasn't sure if it was a big deal or not. The team who made Super Smash Bros. What's it called? Their mod on it, something.
Project M.
Project M. Yeah. So the people who made Project M are making their own Smash Bros-esque game. That's the headline. The headline is Project M creators making their own Smash game. So they made other M. Nintendo said stop it. They can't do it in tournaments anymore because Nintendo's told the tournament people said like, hey, we don't want to see that game in tournaments anymore. They get a headline now for their little Smash clone. Sorry, that was very dismissive. For their Smash clone, they get a headline because they made that highly successful mod. And Brad, you're saying don't waste your time?
I'm not saying that. I'm not saying to do it or not to do it.
What are you saying then?
You're steering clear.
I'm steering clear. Like you
take
do what
a stand.
You
Brad.
do what you got to do. That's my stand. You do what you got to do.
Do what you got to do.
But if you get in trouble, you got to expect it.
Yeah.
The other thing too is that like this exists in other mediums and has been around in mediums for forever. So like if you're an aspiring television writer, go write episodes of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. or Buffy or Star Trek or just to show like I can do this.
They tell you not to do that anymore. Actually.
Well, no, but you don't submit them to the company that makes them. You send them to a competitor, right? That used to be the advice. Don't send like a Buffy episode to the people who make Buffy.
Right? Yeah.
It's the weirdest thing. Like spec scripts these days, you're not supposed to do established shows. It's actually the opposite.
I have not heard that. I speak all the time to people who write for television, and they're like, it's great because
so you're writing a BBT script like spec right now.
like write an episode of Doctor Who, and just
no way,
show
dude.
people it's like, oh, so I can tell you're not just caught up in your own ideas, but you know how to play ball, because your first job is not going to be on your show, it's going to be on my show.
Yeah,
you're gonna have to just learn how to adapt to my characters, my story, how to make our narrative work, and not like make it your own thing. And for art and all, like if you're a painter, it's like, and they always say just write what you know. Like that's a great way to get better at, being a writer, being an artist, being a developer, coder, whatever. So just don't make a whole career out of it. YouTuber, like people do a lot of stuff with licenses all the time they don't own, where they're just like, oh, I've got up in makeup and I'm, it's this character versus that character. Like Screw Attack is Death Battle. Like they don't own the rights to Mega Man or any of those characters are fighting. But
yes,
there's this weird kind of, okay, you can do that because I understand why you're making that. Mm-hmm. And if you're making that, it's like, no, I want to make this game, and you're stuck in that ideal, then yeah, they're gonna fight you on it. But if you're just like, okay, no, I made this for fun to showcase what I can do.
Yes.
As an artist.
Yeah.
You could take that to the bank.
Y'all hear that? What? Yeah. Sound like Jones just activated podcast. Halftime.
It happens. The following are the official sponsors of Easy Allies for the month of August. Mango. Hogue Law, business law firm. Whether you're starting a business at level 1, stuck fighting the dreaded fundraising boss, or finally cashing out with a well-earned high score, you need a good business lawyer at your side. Rick Hogue started Hogue Law to bring more than a decade of experience to companies like yours, and is proud to support the Allies. Check him out at www.hoaglaw.com. Scorn, an atmospheric horror adventure developed by Ebb Software, set in a nightmarish universe of odd forms and somber tapestry. Go to scorn-game.com for more information. iKeyless. Need a new car key or remote? iKeyless.com has been in the key replacement business since 2002. Check them out today and they can help save you up to 75% off of the dealership's prices. If you type in offer code EASY-A at checkout, you'll get 15% off of your order. JoJo Dent Co., your friendly automotive dent repair expert. If you're currently an Easy-A patron and are in the Denver metropolitan area, tweet at FastMower if you would like to have your minor door dings repaired free of charge.
Wow.
Jeez.
Michael Kozachenko, who is producing video game long-form reviews on YouTube at youtube.com/MishaKoz. His latest video that tackles Uncharted 3 is available now for all patrons of patreon.com/MishaKoz and live Friday, August 11th for everybody. Iron Harvest, a real-time strategy game for PC, PS4, and Xbox One, currently in development at King Art Games. Join their community and help them bring the alternate reality of 1920 plus to life. El Thanis. All of these links are available in the description. Thank you to our sponsors.
Thank you.
You know what I love about JoJo Repair?
JoJo Dent Co.
JoJo Dent Co. Fastmower named that after JoJo. After JoJo of JoJo's Bizarre
Proudly
Adventure.
announced that to our community
Yes.
when he had started his company.
I love that.
It's badass.
Genius.
And I just want to emphasize the minor. Have your minor door dings.
Yeah. You know, for free. Come on.
Just imagine that.
Yeah,
that
being
patron
a
just
good
like,
guy.
like wheels the car in like, oh, no.
You said free. It's like, oh, okay, all right. Yeah, please don't go with a crazy effed up door. We'll get to love and respect, but I wanted to cover one more little headline that excites me. Another that's just like, this might not be a big deal to anyone else, but to me, this is huge, and I'm sorry that I ignored it last year. So, Jones, do you remember, I think this was a conversation you and I were having about Spider-Man, and how I was hoping the demo for Spider-Man would just be learn how to web. Learn how to swing webbing. And so there's no story, there's no anything. It's just like, get good at swinging before the game comes out. And that would just be the demo.
Not the stage demo, but a demo we all get to play.
A demo we all get to play that takes place in nowhere. Basically just just walls to learn how to swing.
Oh, like
fire.
a room, like a training room
Like
or
a
something?
VR area or
So
something.
when you play this, when you get to the game, you hit the ground running. I already know how to swing, I'm good. You know, that's what I kind of wanted. Final Fantasy 15 episode Dusk Sky is kind of that. You know what I mean? Get the mechanics down in a world where it doesn't matter. So when you start a game, hit the ground running. Guess who's been doing that already? NBA 2K.
Sick.
Yeah. So last year, NBA 2K had this thing called Prelude. NBA 2K17 Prelude, and they're doing that again. And so what this is, or what it was last year at least, they haven't really announced what it is this year, but it'll probably be very similar. You get to create your character for the campaign. You get to make your character fully, and then play through that person's college career. And then once you've played through the Prelude, you can import that character into the main game.
Very cool.
Dude, nice.
Free demo.
Cool.
I love that.
That's cool.
Creating a character ahead of time, I
Yes.
love for games.
I love that.
Because I'll do that for days.
I'm sorry, can you do that in other games? Create your character ahead of time?
I've seen that before. Yeah,
Okay.
Nothing is jumping to my mind right now.
can't
But
think of it either,
I've
yes.
definitely seen that before.
Yeah. I
Cool.
love that kind of thing. I just wanted to say that I think that's genius.
That's good work.
I'd love to see it in more games. As I said with Spider-Man, I wanted to, I guess, ask the panel if there's other games where you'd like to see this kind of implementation.
Oh, the Dragon Ball Fighters, man. So just
Like a training room?
no background, only a couple characters, but just to get used to how general characters feel.
I get that, Jones, because the beta is going to be rough. The
Yeah.
beta is throwing you into online only. There will
Right.
not be a training mode in the beta, and yeah, exactly. It's hard to get accustomed to it. I dig that. That's cool.
But that Marvel vs. Capcom background that's just like cubes.
Yeah.
It's cool, like the Danger Room, That's just
Yeah, yeah.
nothing. It's a very boring area. There's like an area like that. Only
Yeah.
a couple characters from the roster.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's really good, Jones. I dig that. Brad, what would you like a free just hit the ground running demo of?
Man, any game. I'd take any game.
Yes.
Any game.
Yes.
Like, that's just a cool thing to have for any game.
Even
like,
like-
if they made a new Tony Hawk game or something like that.
Yes.
Just like a little tiny skate park or
Yes.
something like that. Just anything like that. So cool.
Yeah, that's a really good example, actually. What do you got, Damiani? You're ready to go, baby.
Kingdom Hearts 3.
We kind of have that with 2.8.
Kinda, yeah.
That's
You
like,
just gotta pay.
but yeah, you have to pay
You gotta
for it.
pay.
You're
Gotta pay.
totally right. I did pay for that.
Just generic world, so it doesn't spoil anything. Just
Yeah.
generic world, and use generic old enemies.
Yes.
But uses new character, one of like Sora, the new game, and you get to start using the new abilities to get you because all that crazy weapon changing. I want to know how to
Yes.
I need to know how that works, and
Yeah.
I don't want to wait till hour 10. Like you finally unlocked all the key transformation. Like no. Let me get used to that so you can unlock it way earlier in that game so you could avoid those pacing problems.
Yeah.
More JRPGs should do that. Like get you
Wait,
used
what?
like Final Fantasy games where like not till hour 6 you finally unlock the ability to change party members. It's like
oh, sure. I get
really
what you mean. Yeah.
like just give you a more tutorial style demo where it gives you all those features but in a controlled environment and just let you play it over and over again to get used to it. So when you drop them in the game, you get to answer a question. Have you played the demo? Yes. All right. We're unlocking
you
all
don't have
that
to answer
stuff.
that question. It's got your loads. It's got your
Oh, yeah,
save
you
right
did
there. in the
it.
red
It
box.
knows.
It knows,
It
baby.
knows.
Yes.
And
You
it's
want
just like,
carbuncle?
oh,
Yeah, here you go.
It's just going. We're just going.
Yes. Oh, I
like
love that. I do so yeah, I just really wanted to say to NBA 2K18
Bravo.
thank you. Yeah, bravo.
Bravo.
Bravo. And clearly it worked. Clearly they saw enough people import their characters for them to do it 2
that's
years
cool.
in a row.
It's just a cool idea.
That's just a cool idea. Wanted to say thanks and yeah, support that. That's really cool. It is now time for Love and Respect.
Love and respect.
Mario Odyssey would be cool too. Let's just get the moves down. Put me in a big white room. I'm gonna get those moves down.
Well, they just play Mario 64.
Oh, like those training level areas that people always dig out of the Nintendo games, like the Wind Waker one. where
Yeah.
it's like those. Just make a
Release
demo of
that.
that.
Yeah.
like this obstacle course, like a training room area.
Yeah.
Woo, Kyle Bossman.
Let's do it.
I like this.
I wonder if
I
they
like
don't
Skybossman.
do stuff like that because they don't want anyone misrepresenting their game
Yes.
in any way.
Yeah, and I mean, we get there a lot. We get a lot of why don't they do demos anymore? And the answers are obvious. It's just you spend so much money on demos these days. So yeah, I mean, we realize it's impractical. It's just something we wish for.
I would just wish they'd release E3 demos to everybody.
Yeah.
How cool would that be? You got the demo made.
So again,
you
it's
got
so
it made.
expensive though. It's so expensive
I know.
and risky.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, I get it.
But it could get someone to buy your game. Who knows?
This will be fun. We have Michael Damiani on the panel, who is the host of Easy Allies' own Nintendo podcast called Friend Code. Hey, Allies. What does Reggie actually do? I was recently rewatching your Nintendo E3 Spotlight coverage, and Kyle's reaction to Reggie Fils-Aimé's weird poetry got me thinking, what does he actually do? From my layman's perspective, it seems all the decisions at Nintendo are made in Japan, and that Reggie is essentially a glorified PR person. Is this true? Also, what do you think of big executives in general like Reggie, Sean Layden, Phil Spencer doing the PR at events and in videos? Shouldn't they have better things to do and leave this stuff to an actual PR person? Love and respect, Ulf himself.
That last part, I think you need to have your executives front facing at those events because it's important for investors. you're the leadership of the company. Sure. Investors put you in those positions. They need to see how you perform. That's one of their ways to judge. They can read your body language. You can see like what you're selling and stuff. That instills confidence in them about you. It's one of the factors. It's not the determining factor, but I think it's pretty important. It's why like every single major event, whether it's gaming or media, any kind of media event,
yes,
you have executives there. And people who run the company are running those shows.
I think that's why earlier in this podcast we heard Jones say EA doesn't have heart.
Yeah.
It's because he's looking at the people
who
are
presenting.
I
don't get that vibe, from any of those people. And like Reggie can be a goofball sometimes, but like, Reggie is endeared to the products that he's selling. Like Reggie cares about Nintendo. I get that vibe.
Sure.
I don't get him just like, well, another job for me. It's like, no,
I get that vibe sometimes.
Sure, maybe a little bit.
When he's like, let's play ARMS right now. Like, Reggie, you don't want to play ARMS right now.
The ARMS is on Switch, and I get a feeling that Reggie's excited about the Switch.
The Switch. Absolutely. I hear you there.
I mean,
what does he do?
He does have a marketing background. He came to Nintendo from Pizza Hut.
Yes.
Originally. Oh. And I believe he's now the Chief Operating Officer, COO, the coup.
The coup?
The coup.
Reggie's the coup?
Yeah.
But he's the head of Nintendo of America, correct? There's no one at Nintendo of America above Reggie.
Yeah.
Yes.
It used to be, because the current president of all Nintendo used to actually be president of NOA for a little while.
Howard Lincoln?
No. Current president, Kawashima. Or whatever,
okay.
Yeah. And then before that, there was Howard Lincoln, there was Mr. Arakawa. I forget if there was anyone in between them. But yeah, like Reggie's like head honcho, but I think he does do more marketing stuff. Helps, like he's like where the buck stops for NOA's marketing plans. Like all things probably have to be signed off on him, or the team he has picked below him are the people he trusts to do that. I think it also has to do has a lot to do with aligning their marketing strategy with what Japan wants to see. But also understanding North America, especially the US and Canada, because that's their market. Understanding what marketing will work to get that, but he also has to worry obviously about like the sales figures. They have their sales goals. Japan probably dictates to them. We have because they put out those financial reports. We see Japan, NA, Europe, rest of the world.
Yes.
Reggie, like they're responsible for hitting those numbers. So it's on him to come up with the NOA strategy. I feel like for how they're going to tackle that. I don't think they might go off of stuff that Japan gives them for some like input. Like Japan already created these marketing materials. Oh, we'll just reuse them because we think they'll be suitable. I think that's on them to come up with a lot of the marketing stuff, because you'll notice historically almost all the commercials for video games in North America from Nintendo are different than their Japanese counterparts.
Almost every time.
Almost all of them.
Yes.
They're drastically different.
Yeah.
So that's all on them. They come up with that stuff and then work with ad agencies to set that up. So I think that's one of the many of the behind the scenes things you don't see him doing. He gets a lot of the blame for why X games don't come out in our territory. Like, excuse me. Why didn't you localize that game, Reggie? You're like the head of Nintendo of America. Why didn't you make Xenoblade Chronicles come out earlier? That's such an easy decision, Reggie. You said you want to do it, just do it. No one at Nintendo America has the say in that. That's Japan. They look at their territories. They're like, all right, we want to hit these targets. In this fiscal year, we think we can achieve it by doing this. If they say no to North America, like in a way, I believe Reggie does presentations to Japan where he's like, we believe these titles will work out best here. Here's why we think so. He basically has to come up, I'm pretty sure, with a whole plan of attack to present to his bosses in Japan, like every quarter or more than that, outlining what Nintendo America is going to do to hit those sales figures. And if they see games that are scheduled for release and they're not already on there, it's up to them to identify, like, how do we pitch to like Japan? We think this game will do well here, and here's why.
I wonder if that is even a thing anymore. I wonder if there will ever be a huge RPG in Japan that is not released in the U.S. I think we might be over that.
It's more of the smaller titles, and that still happens.
Like what?
Right now we don't. It was just confirmed. Not Dragon Quest 11. The one that just came out, Ever Oasis. There was like some small, I thought, like concern about whether that would come out or not. Originally, I thought
not gonna happen, man. All those games are gonna come to the US
they do,
now.
but like for every one of those, there's like wasn't Cine Mora one that like took for not Cine Mora, Sin and Punishment. Like? Jeez, Sin and Punishment didn't like we didn't get
You're
to
talking
virtual
about that
console.
Wii game?
That didn't come out for virtual console. We never got it over here. It was an N64 game.
You're talking ancient history. It's a different Nintendo now, baby.
I'm trying to give you like the biggest
top.
example. Xenoblade was in danger of not coming out here.
Yes.
the
Last Story,
and the other one, the third one.
Pandora's Tower.
Thank you.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nice,
Thank
Brad.
you.
Brad's
Those
got
three
'em.
are in danger of not coming out. I mean, there are a bunch of N64 games, a bunch of Super Nintendo games, a bunch of DS games. That
I want to hear
out.
Switch games and I want to hear 3DS games.
Switch games, no idea. There's definitely some on the downloadable side that aren't here, I believe, that are...
for sure. And to be honest
Yeah.
with you, please don't give me the games because I'm very aware that there are games in Japan that have not come out in the US.
Wii U, we did not... I mean, there's always the alterations. I'm trying to remember a big game. I mean, Fatal Frame 5 got heavily changed for us.
But I don't think it's a big problem anymore.
It's not as big. Like the more, not as recent, but like there used to be like only like 4 or 5 years ago, Fire Emblem games like, oh crap, they're not even coming out over here.
Yeah.
Like that was a real thing. That was a real thing. I mean, I might have blown out of proportion for more recently.
behind us now,
Because
is
I
what
keep
I'm saying.
forgetting we're like almost so many months into Switch. Like Wii U is old news already. I'm like, oops, yeah, like we're that far. But I do think that does come up. It's on, and Japan has already like said that we're not going to do that. If NOA doesn't say anything, it's just going to go that way. And I think it's an uphill battle once Japan has made their decision. Even if like Reggie believes like, wow, this game, like our fans are like Mother 3, our fans are our fans are clamoring for this game. Japan, they look at this, look at all the support. Japan's like, no.
Okay, you know
They
what?
don't even have to give a reason. They're just like, no, you
There's
must
your
listen.
touche. You found your touche. It's Mother 3.
There you go.
Yeah, okay.
And
Brad.
I'm sorry, just really quick. Oh,
Yeah.
is this a new question or?
No, what's up?
I always imagine Reggie's in charge of like Nintendo World Championship and like the Splatoon.
I would call that marketing. I think that's part of marketing.
Sure,
Yeah.
but that's a big job. I mean, that's
Yeah.
a big project that I imagine Japan has very little to do with. They're kind of
Oh,
like,
yeah.
hey, we'll do it,
Yeah.
and then he's the one that plans like
the
when
bus
it happens,
tours and
where
all
it
that.
happens.
I do get the impression that like
involved,
if NOA was
who
ever
hosts
like
it, like
if NOA ever said like, hey, we have a game idea, Nintendo Japan would be like, haha, no. If NOA would say like, we have a really small cool idea for a game, they'd be like,
Well,
nah.
retro.
They used to
That's
have
right.
they used to have NST. So they used to have
What is NST?
The people who made games during like the N64 GameCube era for Western-based Nintendo software technology. They made like what's it, King Griffey Jr.'s baseball.
Okay.
I'm blanking on everything right now, but they were not like NOA like worked with them.
Okay,
Like, I think
cool.
they had some Japanese oversight, but
Sure.
that was a time when they had more say. Like Retro, I think, has oversight from Japan though now.
Absolutely
Like,
does,
NOA
yeah.
can just say, "Hey, Retro, go make this game." Like Japan's like, what? No, that's not how it works."
Yeah.
I think some of the stuff though with like those events, I think they have a dedicated like events team within their marketing team. He obviously probably like approves all of that.
Right, yeah,
I
yeah.
don't think he comes up with the actual like, let's do Nintendo World Championships this year. His teams pitch him like, hey, we have this little bit of a gap. We got Rabbids, then we got Mario Odyssey, and we have like Fire Emblem probably somewhere between there. We need to bridge that, and we don't have a release, a big release. I want something that's gonna excite people. What do you got for me? And they come with their ideas. Someone's like, wait, why don't we just do Nintendo World Championships again?
Yeah.
And
What do you got for me?
Yeah.
This impression of Reggie, man. What do you got for
I'm
me?
not doing an impression of Reggie. I'm doing an
Yeah,
impression
yeah.
of like any executive who's
Sure,
like,
sure.
hey, like, I mean, I can't talk about specifics, but I've been in those type of meetings before
Mm-hmm.
where it's like, we need a kind of tentpole event around this thing.
Yeah.
It's on us to come up with it. What are the ideas? You have the idea meeting, then you usually have a team that picks like what are the best ideas. Then those go to the higher ups, like which of these do you like? I like this, and this. Send it back down and like have them elaborate on those a little bit more. Send it back up. They pick one or two they like, and they're like, all right, team, here's what everyone's responsible for. Execute on this now.
Crazy.
And Reggie's probably at the part where it's like, here's the final presentation. Let's go over it to make sure it looks good and everything.
Yeah.
But he's also, I mean, again, like he's still a very forward-facing person. He's
Yes.
in the direct still. He's in the E3 spotlight in that weird virtual house thing saying, "What if the game's not fun?"
Yeah.
Some of my favorite Jeff
Play the
Keighley
game.
interviews ever.
Or with Reggie.
Because Keeley just,
Yeah.
will go right at people and be like, I know you're not supposed to announce this thing. I know you don't want me to ask this question. I'm still going to ask it.
Yeah.
And Reggie's just bulletproof, man. Like, you
Yeah.
can, throw anything at me. I don't care. I will redirect you in whatever direction I want.
Yeah, he's cool.
He works with influencers.
Brad,
Yes.
could a man named Reggie ever be less successful than a man named Reginald?
I'm sorry. Is this a meme right now?
Not just kind of
Or
like
a bit?
Just
Are
a
you throwing more bits at me right
just a
now?
ponderous question.
Sure.
Just pondering.
Sure.
Jeez.
Okay. All right.
God.
Don't you think we like him because his name is Reggie though?
No.
If his name was Reginald Fils-Aimé, I don't think he'd be where he is
I
today.
think that'd be funnier.
I mean,
Isn't that ponderous?
Reggie's definitely more playful.
Yes.
he has a unique full name. I think that helped. I don't think his first name. I mean, Reggie plays into. I think Reggie Fils-Aimé. Like it flows better.
It's a good name.
I mean, his whole name is really unique, so it stands
Yeah.
out. But I mean, there's no doubt. Like his first major public appearance at that E3.
What do you say?
He goes, "Hi, my name is Reggie. I'm here to take names and kick ass or whatever, or play games or kick ass." So I'm getting it kind of right, but he said kick ass. It was like, oh my god, someone Nintendo press conference said like kick ass or something.
I think it was, and I'm about two things.
Yeah.
I think that's what it was.
Yeah. And it was like, whoa, edgy Nintendo,
What is he,
man,
like,
yeah,
Duke
but
Nukem
wait
coming
for
out
this.
there?
They said the A word. Yeah, it was that, dude. It was weird.
Oh my god.
Yeah, he wouldn't do that today, but yeah, that was crazy.
Well, but also like there was that Mega 64 video where they like took him over and made like Reggie Bot, and like he like walked in there like
Jones, that was a Nintendo video.
Yeah,
They commissioned
Yeah.
Mega
Yeah, yeah.
64 to make their E3 promos. How crazy was that?
But that's what makes me think about
Yes.
World Championship is they kind of put him in the role of like again approving all of those things and deciding like what we were going to do at 83. So like obviously they made up that scene, but there might be a little grain of truth there as far as getting a vibe of how meetings work there and how everyone looks up to Reggie and the approvals they need from him.
I got a fun game I want to play. What's up, Damiani?
I was gonna say, like, yeah, I hope people don't underestimate the amount of, because it sounded like the person who asked the question, like, what does he do? Like, he doesn't do anything behind the scenes. Like,
He works hard.
the amount of stuff that they do
Yeah.
on a daily basis, like Nintendo Minute, like all that stuff, like that all has to go through like the pipeline to be approved and stuff, and be like oversight and like everything you just said about like those stuff, like that has to go up to him at some point.
Dude.
And you have all those meetings and stuff. Like the dude probably spends the majority of his time in frickin' meetings. With,
sure.
like,
Oh, yeah.
with people. Probably
about-
most of his day is in meetings.
Think about how many emails that guy probably gets.
Thousands.
Just never ends, dude.
Thousands.
He's probably traveling a lot. Probably a
Just
lot of
tired
travel.
all the time.
Going to Japan
misses
all
his
the time.
family.
Oh yeah, you got to go to Japan.
Do you think he gets one of those airplanes that has the beds in them? The Jennifer Aniston planes?
You
Oh, sure.
bet he does.
Okay.
Reggie, he
Yeah,
needs
it's-
that. He's
okay.
got a
Reggie's
recharge.
baller. He rents out
Alright.
all first class for himself.
Okay, great. Well, actually, he probably has a private jet. If we're being real,
that Pokemon plane is his.
he's got his own
This
little
isn't
Pokemon
the
plane.
The Pikachu plane. He's
Yes.
flying
He'd
over
probably-
there.
Yeah. If he saw you like playing a Vita, he'd like make you sit and coach or something like that.
bring me the Snorlax below. I have a game. This is a really fun game. Hi, allies. A quick game for you all. You will hear a hilarious bullet point from the back of a box for a dumb tie-in game.
Okay.
You will then hear 3 options for the name of the game and its advertising. Pick the right one.
Okay.
All right, we're going to start with an easy one, okay? Here's a bullet point on the back of the box. Realistic depiction of facial deformation and bruising. Is it Fight Club, The Warriors, or Peter Jackson's King Kong, the official game of the movie?
Fight Club gets my vote.
Yes.
Yeah, it has
It's
to
Fight
be
Club.
Fight Club.
Yep.
I was gonna say Fight Night Round
Like-
2 or whatever.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
trying to imagine that for like King Kong or
Oh,
something.
yeah, I know, yeah,
He's
yeah.
like, ooh, that's like
Facial deformation. Oh, King Kong, what have they done to you? Okay, Jones, you get the point for getting that first.
Nice, Jones.
Ride the wild river rapids and take a trip on a runaway roller coaster. Is that A, Disney's Tarzan Untamed, B, Disney's The Emperor's New Groove, or C, Disney's Aladdin in Nasira's Revenge?
It's gotta be Tarzan.
Emperor's
Right?
New Groove.
It's Emperor's New Groove.
Rapids?
Yeah.
Rapids? I don't remember Rapids. Eh.
That's what he goes over when he turns into the different form at the beginning.
Yeah,
of the
and
original.
runaway roller coaster, Brad.
Well, Tarzan like slides on those like tree
Yeah.
branches, like
that
he's
was the
surfing
only
on
one
it.
that I was like,
We're talking about a literal roller coaster here.
This sucks.
Okay, yep. So we got a point for Damiani, point for Jones, 0 points for Bradley Ellis.
Man.
Here's your chance to catch up. High resolution textures, fast frame rate, and amazing view distances make this the best looking POV game on PlayStation.
Wow.
Is that A, 007, The World Is Not Enough, B, Alien Resurrection, or C, Mission Impossible?
So here's-
I vote A.
You win, Jones.
Ah.
007, The World Is Not Enough. High resolution textures, fast frame rate, and amazing view
It's
distance.
just old enough for them to slip that
I want
POV
to see what
in
it
and
there.
looks
POV
like.
game,
I want to
yeah.
see what it looks like.
That's a good point, Jones. Yeah, I think they're directly comparing themselves to GoldenEye with those.
Twine.
Like, us too.
Yeah, yeah.
We're great.
We have.
But what's hilarious is Tomorrow Never Dies came out before World Is Not Enough, so that was the sequel to GoldenEye.
Whoa,
Wait, what?
Jones.
Yeah. Tomorrow Never Dies was
repeat
the
that.
follow-up. Nightfire might have actually come out before World Is Not Enough too. So,
No way. The World Is Not Enough is like right after GoldenEye.
No. Tomorrow Never Dies is the sequel to... Tomorrow Never Dies was the immediate follow-up to GoldenEye, and then World's Not Enough was the one after that.
Okay, help me sing the songs. So GoldenEye is the space station, right? It's the
a
satellite.
satellite.
That's
Yeah,
the
yeah,
laser.
Satellite.
Okay, and then the next one is,
Tomorrow Never Dies.
which is what?
That's the Jonathan Pryce media mogul.
Yeah.
Oh,
Which
yeah.
Terry
I do
Hatcher
remember
and,
that.
And they're like in Taiwan or something?
the
Yeah.
gal from Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon.
Yeah.
I don't remember her name.
Okay, so that's the
Michelle
second one.
Yeoh.
Okay.
The Well Enough is the military base at the beginning. Where he
With
gets
what's his name from Train Spotting, with a bullet in his head and can't feel pain, but it's
Oh,
like gonna kill
yeah.
him someday, and he's all raging out.
He
Yes.
gets captured at the beginning.
Which one is the one with the ice hotel?
That's the
Die Another Day, which was
yes,
after
yeah.
World's Not Enough.
What's the one
That's
where
the
he's
last
like
Brosnan.
snow or like surfing in the water with like a parachute thing?
Die Another Day.
Man.
Okay.
That's the theme.
Oh.
Kyle doesn't know anything about 007.
I think I'll die another day.
Oh, here we go.
It's not my time to go. Wait, so the world is not enough. Who sings that one?
I don't know. Two people sang Tomorrow Never Dies. Actually.
Which one's garbage? Which one's the one that was garbage?
The band
might have been
garbage?
World Is Not Enough.
Okay.
Maybe.
All right. Okay. You know what? We really hit the brakes on this game. Battle fierce bosses with pies. Is that Scooby-Doo and the Cyber Chase? Is that Bugs Bunny Lost in Time? Or is that Dexter's Laboratory, Mandark's Lab?
Hey.
That is correct. It is
Yeah.
Scooby-Doo and the
Yeah.
I
Cyber
was gonna vote
Chase.
Bugs.
Because I played Bugs Bunny Lost in Time, and you don't do that. I knew it.
From experience.
From experience.
And you got Pies is not really Dexter's,
Dexter's
Lab
vibe.
thing.
He
Yeah,
would
yeah.
be like a mech or something.
Really good, Brad. Really good process of elimination there. Final question. This is somebody's chance to tie Jones or Jones's chance to run away with it.
Nice.
Quit gawping over the dreamy scenery, the awesome animation, and most savory sound around. Is that Eminem's Shell Shocked, Sneak King, or Cool Spot?
Sneaking.
Cool spot.
A.
It is Cool Spot. Love and
Savory.
respect,
Savory's
Dominic.
the
That
key
sounds
there.
like
Yeah.
a Burger King description when they were super full of themselves.
No, but
Savory,
Sneaking-
yeah, I would've
Sneaking
said
had really good advertising. Actually, they were very.
Yeah, Burger King thought they were on top of the world. Now
They
they're
did.
like in big time trouble.
Are they in big time trouble?
Yeah, they've closed so many Burger Kings, dude.
Brad, I didn't know about this. What's going on?
Come on, man.
Oh.
Yeah, it's been a while, dude. Burger King's not doing as hot as it used to be.
Oh,
Take
no.
that to
Yeah.
the bank.
Get rid of
Did you
those.
say, Jones? You can take that to the bank? Is that what you said? That's very good. You get double points for that, my man. That was very, very good.
Ching, ching.
I didn't know.
Every Burger King that was around me is gone.
Oh.
They're all gone
Oh, there's one by me that's still open. But it's a franchise one.
for now.
Burger King, whack
it does
fries.
fine.
You know what? Your fries are whack.
Yeah, their fries kind of stink.
I
Yeah.
haven't had Burger King in a
Burger
long
King
time.
is not the greatest.
Oh, it's not the
are good.
greatest, yeah.
It's
It's not top tier.
You know what
alright.
else? You know what else? They got a milkshake that's got Fruit Loops in it.
Oh gosh, please! They do weird.
It's
Cheeto,
not good.
Cheeto
It's not
stuff.
good.
They're
Did you
doing
get
the
it?
gimmick
Yes.
stuff. They need to stop.
Oh yeah, Cheeto fries,
They
dude.
need
That's
to
not,
stop.
that ain't right.
Please
It's like drinking a milkshake with little wet pieces of bread in it. It's like, oh, come on.
no.
Come on, BK.
It's almost as bad as the Captain Crunch Frappuccino at Starbucks.
Yeah, just
that's
don't.
a secret menu.
Not that kind of thing. Ooh, that's a secret
See,
menu.
as long as we're talking about fast food,
Yeah.
I'm surprised none of you. There's no talk amongst the allies of the Taco Bell restaurant that opened in Los Angeles.
Oh, yeah,
the
I know
like
about that.
test kitchen Taco Bell.
Like the upscale one, or they
I didn't
make
hear
better
about
stuff.
Upscale Taco Bell where they roll out all of the fancy stuff that they're going to roll out at like nationwide, but like it premieres at this special like
Jones.
upscale Taco Bell in
Jones,
LA.
I've tested food in the Taco Bell HQ, dude.
All right.
Nothing
All right.
lives up to that, man.
Yeah.
I got
Look at
to
this.
test the stuff before
Hey,
it even
just-
came
I'm
out,
just
and
saying.
it did some stuff didn't
Right, but
come
Taco
out.
Bell HQ isn't in California, is
Are
it?
you-
Yeah,
are you
it
under-
is.
Oh, it is?
Right off the
Yes.
I-5.
Well,
Yeah.
then,
Brad, are you
excuse
under
me.
are you under NDA? Can you tell us about
It's right by
canceled
Irvine.
Taco Bell?
They had some coffee I had that never came out, like around
Whoa.
yeah, like a specific kind.
Ooh, nice.
Pretty
Look
rad.
at this.
It's been a while since I did it, but
Yeah.
dude, there was like a lot of things like that around me. Like I tested a video game one time. It was Mark Echo Contents Under Pressure.
Yeah.
Where I like played through it and I was like, this sucks. And
Yeah.
they like changed a lot of stuff and the game came out and it was like good.
Well, it was
People said it was good game, like 8s when I saw it come out.
Oh, okay.
But when I played it was pretty rough.
yeah.
So
you're saying you made the game better?
I made a better game.
Nice,
Wow.
Brad.
Look at a food restaurant.
You know what? We kind of spent all of our time for Love and Respect. No, let's do a quick one.
Yeah.
I saw,
Quick one.
I saw a
got
quick
time.
one. Right?
Quick one.
I got
Yeah,
a quick one.
it's early yet.
Okay. This one starts quick one. Here we go.
Okay.
Ooh, but it is not a quick topic. We're going to see how we do this. Okay. Quick one. What do you think the chances are of us getting a Majora's Mask style sequel to Breath of the Wild in the next couple of years? Captain Kino Pio.
What do you mean, like
I wish they would have elaborated
like
on what they
reused assets
meant.
of it or something? Or
Yeah,
like
exactly
a
like that.
quick
Same
Same world, direct continuation.
Same engine.
That's the DLC.
Yeah.
I don't think you'll
That-
see. Maybe the same engine in the next game, but
That came up as I wonder if they got inspired by the Gaff thread about that. There was
there
a
a
Gaff
Gaff thread
thread
about this?
asking why doesn't Nintendo with the last few Zeldas just reuse the assets of the existing game and just make a quick sequel
Pull
within
an
2
Ezio.
years? And they
Yeah.
said, they said like
more.
because you did it with Majora's Mask.
Yeah.
For those people who don't know, Majora's Mask, when Ocarina of Time finished, Shigeru Miyamoto went up to series producer AJ Onuma and said, "I'm going to give you a challenge. I would like you to develop a new Zelda in under 2 years."
In
but
1
here-
year. You get 1 year.
No, he said
Yes.
under 2 years. Under 2 years.
I'm going to fact check this. This is 1 year.
And he said, "Can you? Here's the thing: you can reuse the assets from Ocarina of Time. I'll give you that,
Yeah.
but it needs to be a new game. You can't just make it set in the same Hyrule
Yes.
and that. It's gonna be a new game. Can reuse the assets. I want it out in less than 2 years." And you got Majora's Mask, and that is one of the people's biggest arguments for, how do you produce a diamond? Pressure, under pressure. People like Gem. That's how sometimes good games can come out of like intense pressure. Like those aren't the best situations, like the crunch and stuff. But sometimes it forces people to focus and like focus on what really matters about the game. Like what are the good points of this game? Helps you already made the first game, but like you did all that work. Why not make a sequel off it? And Nintendo hasn't really been doing that with Zelda games. Now, you can argue that like they took the Wind Waker's base engine, modified it a lot. That's how you got the Wind Waker, and then you can see.
I'm sorry, what?
Or we take the Wind Waker's engine
And got
was
Twilight
heavily
Princess.
modified and was the basis for Twilight Princess.
Yes.
They were actually making the Wind Waker 2. Scrapped that, took that stuff because you can see some of the elements.
Hit the brakes here. What?
they were making Wind Waker 2?
Where have you guys? What?
What do you mean?
This is
There
not
was a
general
whole-
knowledge. This
there
is
was-
not general
there
knowledge.
was a GDC presentation the year after the Wind Waker came out that listed the Wind Waker 2 in development, and that was in development
Dude,
until
I didn't even know about
until
GDC like that.
until E3 2004, right
What?
after GDC, where they got enough feedback from Nintendo of America. They had a feedback session with all their Nintendo subsidiaries, and they're like, all right. The Wind Waker sold okay, but we noticed it didn't sell well in some territories, specifically North America.
a lot
That's
of
usually-
16-year-old boys want a serious Zelda.
so
and so then they
Nintendo
canceled Wind
America,
Waker 2.
in the nicest way, said, we hate to say this to you, but the visuals were a turnoff to a lot of the demographic you were going for this game at the time. We feel that a more realistic-looking Zelda will sell better. And that is why they canceled whatever they were working on. I don't think there's been anything released of what the Wind Waker 2 looked like.
In 6 years, we'll get the GameCube Mini, and then they'll release Wind Waker 2
Yes,
on
like
it.
Star Fox 2.
Yeah.
They probably made the whole game. It's finished.
Oh, totally.
It's finished in that Nintendo Vault right now.
I'm pretty positive.
But anyway, outside of like claims that they reused parts of an engine,
Yeah.
they've never done what they've done with Majora's Mask in
Ever
a
again.
long time, almost
Except for
2
the DS
decades.
games.
Oh yeah, but those we're talking about like the big console
Did they
ones.
do that with Galaxy? The Galaxy games?
Galaxy did
That's
it.
a good point.
But that's
Yeah,
a different
Brad.
development team.
Well done.
But the Zelda team has not done that with a big console game because Breath of the Wild took so long, and they've said it's going to be a few years till you see the next 3D console Zelda game.
Yeah.
People asking, why can't you just reuse the assets in Breath of the Wild? We'll even take being set in the same world, just rearrange stuff. Get it out faster. Why can't you do that? Like, why do we have to wait another 4 or 5 years? People want to see a new Zelda every 2-3 years. I think that's what they're asking about.
Yes.
I think Nintendo likes to reinvent Zelda all
yes.
the time.
I think so too, Brad. I think they keep going on that. Like,
Yeah.
why do you think they want
Because they're always different. They've
Yeah.
recently always been a huge step in a different direction every single Zelda. Like you go from Wind Waker to Twilight Princess, huge difference. And then you go to Breath of the Wild and Skyward Sword, they're all way different.
Yeah.
It-
I almost feel like it's a point of pride. I feel like it's a jewel in the crown. You know,
It also makes it a spectacle each time a new Zelda
Yeah,
game
it makes it a
comes
big
out.
deal.
yeah.
If they start, my fear is, I understand people want to play good Zelda games faster,
Absolutely.
but is the one series that like I will visibly be distraught about delays, but deep down I'm like, this is for the better. This is how it always works with this series. Give them the time they need. They'll give you a game. You might not agree with all the points about it, but it'll be a pretty damn good game. And I don't want them to give that up for the big console release Zeldas. I'm fine with a 4 or 5 year development cycle for the big ones.
Yeah.
They just got to fill in the gaps with like the other ones, like the handheld ones or the more traditional 2D style or
let me ask you this then,
Between Worlds
because
style game.
I actually agree with you, and I think it'd be almost absurd to say that there are good chances of a Breath of the Wild-esque, because they've directly said it'll be a while. Nintendo has said it'll be a while. We're going to look at those ideas from Breath of the Wild, but the sequel's a long time ago. So there was a team that has been making handheld 3DS Zelda games. Do you think that there's a chance we'll see that within the next 2 years? A handheld-esque Zelda game for the Switch.
You'll either see a new Zelda design developed in this engine of what Ocarina of Time or Majora's Mask 3D used, or a Link Between Worlds engine reused again. It'll be one of those two things.
Sure.
Because
I think it'll be top down.
Because they did Triforce Heroes, and that is a Link Between Worlds engine. It's the graphics engine used in that same style. Everything looks the same, just different setting.
I think if you use the Ocarina engine, you run the risk of it just looking bad compared to Breath of the Wild, and so that's why I think they might just go strictly top down.
I mean, I guess it'll be different if it's not on the 3DS, if it's on the Switch, because that screen's bigger.
Yeah.
I think on the 3DS screen it worked because it's really small, so the resolution looks, that small resolution
looks nice.
makes it look really nice.
Yeah.
I think they could have got away with that on that. I think you're right. It'll just draw comparisons to that. So I think you'll get a more traditional, and stylistically it'll be a lot different. It'll be like a more traditional, old school style Zelda, because there were some complaints about Breath of the Wild in that people
miss linearity.
They loved what it did new, but they're like, you could have been not Zelda. You could have done this something else, not Zelda. Can I get back my old Zelda but still have this as well? That might be where that they scratch that itch, is with that.
Yeah. Brad, you love Breath of the Wild, right?
Sure do.
Would you love a game next year that's like same engine but a different story?
Just Zelda?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. It just depends how good it is.
Sure.
I mean, Majora's Mask is really, really good.
Yes.
I mean, that's hard to replicate. I wouldn't want it like in the same world though, the same exact Hyrule. Mm-hmm. Like I like Majora's Mask because it's a completely new area.
Yeah.
I love that a lot. I wouldn't want to be in the same Hyrule field again.
Yes.
Maybe if he goes off to like a new land or something like that, like, oh, cool.
Sure. And there's a Zora band.
Sure. Zora band was dope.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if the question's more about like thematically, I mean, Majora's Mask was pretty different from what Ocarina of Time was doing.
I always see them as two sides of the same coin.
Yeah.
That like the reason to love Ocarina of Time is like how big that world is and how much you're constantly going out and exploring new giant areas. Mm-hmm. And Majora's Mask is like feels a little bit smaller, a little more intimate, but there's so much more going on in that town. Like you go into the main town and you know, Ocarina of Time, and there's like a dozen people, you know, just kind of walking around doing like really repetitive animations.
Fixing
there is a
stuff.
time of day that changes, but like once you get in there, it's just kind of like puppets bouncing back and forth. Whereas you go into Majora's Mask, and there's patterns and people that you recognize, and you know they wake up at certain times and travel in specific directions, and you know, but you don't necessarily get the breadth of the world. You know, Epona's not in it. There's big things you miss from Ocarina of Time, but I play either game thinking about the other one and how great it is, and not just like, oh, I clearly like that one better.
What's weird about Breath of the Wild though, and its engine and its mechanics, is they kind of to me work in that open air environment. Mm-hmm. It's not appealing if you want to make that world that Jones is just talking about, that city. Why use Breath of the Wild? Why use that engine? You know what I mean? I feel like it'd be wasted on a game where it's just in a city because you can't do interesting.
Well, it doesn't have to be just in a city. Like think of the mechanics they can use inside with the physics alone inside an actual dungeon. Like if the dungeons were designed like the traditional Zelda dungeons and not necessarily just the shrines.
Okay, you sold me, right?
That'd be great. Like if we got Breath of the Wild in a new area with Link and like traditional dungeons, 100% in. 100%.
Yep.
Did you say Epona was in Majora's Mask?
Oh yeah, 100%.
Oh,
So it's the opening.
Yeah.
Opening the game.
right. But then she like
separate.
throws you off, and then you.
I think you get it back.
You get her
back
in Romani Ranch.
Yeah, you get her back.
Oh, okay.
You
Sorry.
get the Crimean Romani. You do the sister.
And those
cyclist.
UFOs, man.
Yeah. After you protect Crimea or Romani from the UFO invasion, you get Epona for that.
Nice.
I think their DLC is kind of the answer to that, though, too.
I think so, too,
because that
Brad.
was not
Sure.
something of the past.
Yeah.
Like, they're continuing this story in this little world. Like, they have the assets. They're like, okay, let's just add a little more to it. Mm-hmm. So, depends if they want to make a brand new thing. I think they should use this engine again, maybe improve it.
Yeah.
Because it was great. The physics were great. Combat was, like, really good compared to past Zeldas.
After E3, I was assuming the worst about the DLC, but the brief flashes they showed of it, what was that? Was it at a concert or was that some sort of event? where they showed basically 3 cutscenes of the new DLC. What was that, Dom?
Was it an event in Europe? Yeah, I forget.
Yeah.
It wasn't a concert. You're thinking Kingdom Hearts was concerts where they showed the new
You're
trailer.
right. Yep.
There was a convention in France, Spain, somewhere in Europe, I believe, that they showed off clips of I think it was Japan Expo, maybe. They showed off new in-development clips of the DLC.
Cool. And so I think Brad's statement is actually probably the most correct. We should have just skipped to that. Is if you were looking for what that game would be, that Majora's Mask, it might just be the DLC. Mm-hmm. It might just be that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. A quick one indeed. Yeah. Let's do bets. It's time for bets. Last week... No, we're doing next week's bet first. On next Tuesday, the 15th of August, Sonic Mania will be released. A certified Pop-Tart. What we are voting on is how long the end credits will be. Jones, how long are those end credits going to be?
3 minutes, 22 seconds.
Michael Damiani.
1 minute and 50 seconds.
Oh.
Bradley Ellis.
3 minutes, 30 seconds.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. My bet is 3 minutes and 41 seconds. No! We are on top of each other.
Damn.
Bunk bed. And then Don's vote is 4 minutes and 35 seconds.
Take the
Don
high road.
has
Take the
the
high road,
big
Don.
bet.
Dawn. So we
Take
got
the
the low and
high
high,
road.
baby.
Let me lock those in. Last week we bet about Lawbreakers, which released today, August 8th on PC and PS4. How many times in the 10 most recent reviews on OpenCritic will I find the word Overwatch? Jones, you bet 20 times. Yeah. Ben bet 5. Ian bet 16. I bet 6. Don bet 7. All right, first off, how many reviews do you think I found for Overwatch today on OpenCritic.com?
0.
Overwatch. Sorry, for Lawbreakers.
0?
I found 1 review.
1 review. Who was it?
Hardcore Gamer.
Whoa.
Hardcore Gamer got the review out by the end of the day.
That's why they got that name.
Hardcore.
They're on it.
Seems a little fast. Game just came out.
You're ready. Play a few matches. You got it. How hard can it be?
I mean, test the network and everything. Make sure that's
I can write a review in 5 minutes, Brad.
All right.
The guy who doesn't write reviews, I go.
You play a game for a half hour. I get
Kyle
it.
claims this.
All right.
Jones, tell me you don't know if a game is a 5 or a 4 in a half hour.
By definition, for a review, you don't know anything about a game until you finish it. I got a cup of piping hot coffee here that's got your face nailed on it.
I don't get why it's hard to play it. I don't get why it's hard to write it. I don't get why it's hard to review it and edit it. It's just like, why does it take so long? I don't get it.
Damn.
Here,
He's not as good as you, Damiani, but he's good.
have a McJolly, Kyle.
That's pretty funny.
Extra large.
Extra large McJolly. Hardcore Gamer mentioned Overwatch 4 times in that one review.
Yeah, see, that's why I bet 20,
Yes,
baby.
the 20 was a smart bet,
more.
Jones. But yeah, as we just said, only 1 review. So Ben wins with a bet of 5.
Yeah, being.
Yeah. 4 times in 1 review. Can you believe that?
I can.
Yes.
Like, easily.
I can.
You called it, Jones. You
I
called
can.
it. Yeah. What we didn't call is that, of course, why would people get there? Here's what I got confused by. I knew Brad was doing an event last week. I thought that was a review event. Mm-hmm. Just a preview event.
Preview maybe.
And that's
review.
the Kyle confusion variable is something
I guess you
always
could
gotta keep
technically
in the back of your
review
mind.
I don't understand how people can confuse that.
For Kyle to
it's
just get bets
so obvious.
straight
It's
wrong.
Why is it just on me? Why is it like anyone else could have realized that it would be hard to review that game in one day?
No, preview. It's a preview event. How can you mistake a preview event? I mean,
I just heard Brad's gonna go play Overwatch.
It was a
Lawbreakers.
very confusing event to me.
I don't understand how people can get Overwatch and Lawbreakers confused. Lawbreakers is a new game right now. I mean,
terrible.
it only takes 5 minutes to know the difference.
Oh, he's
So
flustered.
bad.
He's flustered.
So bad.
Anyway, that brings our score to Purple Platypi 13, Red Eagles 19. You two are the best.
Yeah,
by the
just
way.
the best,
Yes.
man.
You don't know. You don't know
It's
the other,
because we
the other
did
teams.
it. We
Yeah.
brought the effigy. We did it.
We were in the inaugural dealing with the BS.
We are the purple.
Everyone else is just bad at that. Let's talk about Easy Allies. What, Jones?
Nothing. I was curious what word that was going to be
Hold up.
instead of Easy Allies.
Can I go back real quick?
Yes.
For that review, I could see how a review could be out for that game because they probably had I had a decent amount of hands on with it.
Yeah.
So I could see how it.
Brad, just write your review already, dude.
Yeah.
No,
How many stars is it? Just tell me.
I don't know yet.
between 0 and 5.
I need to play more.
Yeah. Just to be clear to anyone who may have been confused, I am being facetious. I know it takes a long time to play through a game, critique it, and edit it. Yeah, I'm playing around.
Just joshing.
Easy Allies is not just a podcast every week. That we actually do reviews, as Brad just did. He's doing the Lawbreakers review. And we do many reviews, and we do previews.
Dino Crisis coming for me. Not Dino Crisis. Dino Frontier.
I was about to say. I was like, wait, did
Dino Crisis?
I was like, did you leak? Guys, Jones has leaked something?
Got the scoops.
Dino Frontier. PSVR.
It's Red Dead Redemption 2 all over again. He knows. Okay, great. All right. Yeah, exactly. Our first ever VR review, which is cool. Yep. We do many podcasts, actually. We do live streams. We play video games all the time. And so, if you want to see what Easy Allies is all about, I would recommend Googling Easy Allies and going right there straight to easyallies.com, where you can find all the videos we post and organized in a certain fashion. And also our schedule, our stream schedule, but also our show schedule, our series schedule, our programming schedule, all in your time zone. Pretty cool website. And then you may also want to check out patreon.com/easyallies, which is how we are supported. And you can support us through that website so we can continue to do all the things that we do.
Cool.
Boom. Brad, how did you do on your goal this week? How many yawns?
That I can recall 0 yawns.
Brad, I counted 0 yawns.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great job. Damiani, how'd you do with integrating McJolly naturally into a conversation?
You conjured it up big time, bud.
I conjured it up big time, bud. Jones, how'd you do with integrating the phrase, and you can take that to the bank?
I got in there twice. Second one was way better.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that second one, man.
Yeah.
And the voice, too. You got to think about the voice. And I passed with flying colors and being ponderous, I would have to say. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so I think we all did pretty well this week.
It is not that Kyle feels himself segment just coming back.
It was really funny. There was the most liked comment last week was on YouTube. Why'd they forget about Senran Kagura Peach Beach Splash? Is Kyle afraid of being sexual?
I played
and so
at
that
E3.
was the most popular thread. Is like, he just doesn't want to bring it up because it's too sexy. I know it. And so, Brad, I was gonna do Love in the Club just to prove that I'm not afraid to be sexual. I'm a very sexual person, everyone.
Yeah.
I steam sexiness
Yeah.
into any room I walk into.
It's why I sit so far from you on the podcast, to be honest.
It's just a fragrance that just pours out
The
of me.
aroma.
Pheromones. Big time.
Please, afraid to be sexual. How dare you? Anyway, Brad, let's just hand over the microphone to you. I've had it for much too long. Because you are in the Ben seat. Oh, no. Damiani's in the Ben seat. Yeah. Sorry, Brad. I'm sorry, man. Because we all want the general hugs. We all want the general hugs.
Sure. I have the right to do that.
Yeah, okay.
All right, final
word. Nice.
So, no, you don't have the right to do that.
Man, I don't think that's been done before.
Damiani.
That's the rules.
Damiani gets the final word. He's in the seat.
So I'm just going to have Brad whisper what he wants to say.
So, Damiani, we could do that. You get to share your Twitter handle with the world. Yeah, if Brad whispers something and you agree with it, that can be your final word. You're the final word on anything you want to reiterate, anything you've disagreed with in the entirety of this podcast. You get to promote any Easy Allies video you would like to promote, and you get to sign off with your trademark sign off.
I'm going to miss that Brad sign off.
Yeah.
You can follow me at MB Damiani on Twitter. Video, I want to
How do you spell Damiani?
Damiani.
Delay.
That delay, man.
How do I spell my name?
There's a delay. I emphasize the N because people always think I say M.
Damiani.
So usually I usually use the code thing like D as in dog, A, M as in Mary, I, A, N as in Nancy, I. Because that's how my mom always did it.
Yeah, you rattled that off.
Yeah, because my mom always did that when I was young.
Yeah.
When people asked how do you spell your name, so my brothers and I think I don't know if they still do it, but like it just rubbed off on me. Like, yeah, just do it.
Right.
Video.
Yes.
So we just did a 50-hour mega live stream from the beach.
Yes.
Easy living. I want to give a shout out to all the videos were really good, but I want to give a shout out to one because it proved a point, I think. And I think everyone who watched it realizes that point. So if you haven't seen it yet, you need to believe in this. You need to watch this guy right here, Mr. Bradley Ellis, playing through Yakuza 0. For the just if you don't like the gameplay, that's cool. Pay attention to the story, please. Just like listen to the conversations because
Look at those faces.
I think everyone walked out of the room like even if I don't want to play that game, I want to go watch a playthrough now immediately because I want to know how this unfolds. I want to know the story. And I think I saw every comment being like, "Yo, I need to play or watch Yakuza 0 like now." Like Ben's been preaching it all this time, and Huber and Brad like on Frame Trap, but it's like it's the real deal.
I've got a question though: is how can we hop into 0 now when Kiwami is so close? Like I think I'm honestly I'm gonna
Because 0 takes place before Kiwami.
Yeah.
Story. Yakuza.
I'm building up like the story
is about
here.
story.
Yeah.
A lot of it.
I'm
Follow
saying,
the story.
You're
not jumping into Empire Strikes Back before A New Hope.
I can if I want to.
You can, and you shouldn't.
Want to.
You could do whatever you want, but you shouldn't. You should respect the source material.
Hey Brad, I want you to say something that's on your mind right now, and then maybe I'll agree with it.
No. I want Brad to whisper it.
No.
Yeah, if you're gonna play this trick, it has to be a game of telephone.
There's something on your mind right now,
No, Brad, whisper it.
I'm
Brad,
very curious.
You
what
have
it
to
is.
whisper it, Brad. Please
I
whisper.
can whisper it to you.
Yes,
Sure.
please whisper it into Damiani's ear.
Disney, what's the deal? Bring out the normal editions of Star Wars on Blu-ray, you idiots. And with that, see you all next time.
I am enjoying these microtransactions.